Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Sarah and this is Sarah's Rhythm. Well, this is a very special video today because today we are going to discuss Beyoncé's 8th studio album, Cowboy Carter. Now, this album is genius. I have so much to say about this album, but Beyoncé, you did it again. You did it again. This is so genius. The production, the blending of genres, the vocals, the storyline, everything. It is just genius from top to bottom. I love the beginning, the intro, American Requiem. It's just so good. It sounds like an anthem. It sounds like an anthem or a fanfare, which I love. And definitely, the queen of music needs a fanfare. She needs something like that, a fanfare. But, Beyoncé always slays an intro, but American Requiem, that was it. The big ideas, yeah, are buried here, yeah. I love it. I love it. On American Requiem, she was just saying that, we're going to bury the old perceptions and ideas that people have that we have to stay in a box. We have to stay in a box and do things that society wants us to do. And she's not going to stick to that. Genre is a funny concept. Just like what Linda Martell said, it's a funny concept. It puts people in a box, and you don't want to be boxed in. Music is music. Music should be genreless. Any artist, regardless of race and gender, should be able to do any genre, including country music. And Beyoncé has always been country. She's from Houston, Texas. So you can't expect Beyoncé to not do something that's a part of her roots. She has country roots. She's always been country. She has always performed at the Houston rodeo. She has always worn cowboy hats. She has always had some country elements that have been sprinkled in her music. Beyoncé is not new to this. She's true to this. And Beyoncé is genreless. You can't put Beyoncé in a box. Beyoncé has done every genre. R&B, pop, gospel, country, rock. She has done it all. And you can't tell the queen of music what to do and where to stay. So that's American Requiem. You're not going to box me in. We are going to put that idea to rest. And I'm going to give you the history of country music, and I'm going to give you the roots and show that we're not new to this, we're true to this. Definitely. And I love American Requiem. That is such a perfect intro, and the production is everything. I love the production. But it's one of her best intros in her discography. Same with Blackbird. Blackbird was excellent. I love how she had all of the black girls of country music. She had Tanner Adele, Raina Roberts, Tiara Kennedy, Brittany Spencer. She had them all and all on one record. And I just think that is lovely because, before this, they have struggled to get the same recognition that their white counterparts have had in country music. And for Beyoncé to use her platform, to give them a space, I think it's just it's so great of her. It's so great of her. But, that's the queen I know. That's the queen I know. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the cover of the Paul McCartney. It was Paul McCartney's song about, Black women during the civil rights movement. And it was so beautifully done. Now, the vocals remind me a lot of Destiny's Child. I will say that this sort of gives a little bit of a throwback to Destiny's Child and, sort of the vocal harmonies and layers that they used to do. And in that sense, it's genius. It's genius. And I love how Beyonce always shows her roots, and she gives a little bit of her history and gives us, the things that we've always loved her for in her records. And that's what she did here, but loved it. I already reviewed 16 Carriages. Just go on my page and you will see a video of, it's a review of Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages that I have already done when the singles were released. But so I'm going to skip over those, and I'm also skipping over the interludes. Now, Protector. Protector is such a beautiful song. I love her daughter Rumi on it at the beginning when she asked her to play the lullaby. It is so sweet. But and she's just talking about, being a parent and being a protector, of her children, as they grow up. It's like, but I'm still going to be your protector because you're mine. You're mine. I raised you. You're my child. And this is one of my favorite songs on the album, but I love how it's sung. And the vocals are so great on it. My Rose was a tribute to her son, Sir. And she was saying that she hopes that, you accept yourself the way that you are and don't let people's opinions of you bother you. And I think it's such a great message for him. Accept yourself the way that you are. Don't let anybody's opinion get in the way of that. You are great the way that you are. And I love the vocal harmonies and the layers on My Rose. Great production, great vocals. Now, Bodyguard. Let me tell you about Bodyguard. Bodyguard is my favorite song on this album. I just love Bodyguard. The production, it reminds me of like a soft rock song. And, it reminds me of like a road trip. Like if you were going on a road trip and you were looking out the window and your hair was blowing in the wind, that's the type of song that Bodyguard is. And I love the guitar. I love it. But I always do my shoulders like that every time I hear it. Because that's the type of vibe that it gives me. The second that I heard Bodyguard, I knew that this one was going to be the one. But I have several favorites on here. So, I haven't really ranked them, but this is definitely one of them. Honey, honey, I could be your Caroline. Oh, honey, honey. And I'm kind of surprised that this is not one of the high favorites of everybody's, because, a lot of people are saying Yeah Yeah and Tyrant and all of those, which I love too. But Bodyguard, there's something really special about this one. It's sort of in between pop and country. It's like a pop country, type of mix, which I love. This one. But when she performs Bodyguard, oh, I'ma lose it. Because that's my song. And It's better than any soft rock song that's out. And I know I said that it reminds me of the soft rock songs. It's better. She took what they did and she elevated it 10 times. I love Beyonce's cover of Jolene. I love her cover of Jolene. I know that some people are hating on it, but let me tell you, I love how Beyonce took it and elevated it. And Dolly Parton always wanted her to cover it. So if Dolly Parton always wanted her to cover it, I don't understand how you guys hate it. You can't hate something that has already been approved by the original artist. So, you know, she took it and sort of, put a spin on it and said, I'm giving you a warning. If you come towards my man, we're going to have some problems. She just didn't do it as soft as Dolly Parton. And I appreciate that. So, it just wasn't as soft as Dolly Parton. It's like Dolly Parton's just seems so soft. And it's like, well, I just hope that you don't take my man. But Beyonce is protective of the man. And she's saying, well, there's going to be some problems if you come towards him. You're going to have to deal with me. And I love it. I love it. It was perfect. And Dolly Parton approved. And I approve. Daughter is excellent. Let's just talk about Beyonce's opera at the end. Oh, it just shows Beyonce's versatility. Those vocals were just it was so soothing and so smooth. Beyonce just slayed it. And I think, and it shows a lot of her talent. It shows a lot of her talent. And she was able to get the accents right, the Italian accents right, and everything. But it was a really great moment. That was a surprise. It was definitely a pleasant surprise on the album. But I like the darkness that she brings to Daughter. When Beyonce has a dark vibe, sort of like what she did on Haunted from Self-Titled, when she has a dark vibe to it, Haunted and 6 Inch on Lemonade, she really brings it. She really brings it. And you are a really talented artist when you can slay a lighter vibe and a darker vibe. But excellent. I think Spaghetti is all right. Spaghetti, Beyonce is rapping on here, and Beyonce has some really great rap skills. So I wouldn't, don't ever underestimate Beyonce's rap skills. She can rap. She can rap, and we already saw that on Everything Is Love. She gave us a little bit of Everything Is Love with Spaghetti. But I am going to be spending my time learning the lyrics. It's not my favorite song on the album, but Beyonce was spitting. Beyonce was spitting, and when Beyonce talks her shit, everybody listens. So it was a nice little. It felt like a little interlude, but hey, she slayed it. She definitely sounds better than a lot of the female rappers that are out. And I know that's going to be a controversial statement, but hey, Beyonce was rapping that down way better than some of those others. I'm not going to name any names. Something about alligator tears reminds me of Destiny's Child. It reminds me of either Destiny's Child or like the early Dangerously in Love Beyonce, where she's doing a lot of that layering and like smooth R&B vibes. Like, it reminds me of that. It gave me sort of like that um, that early Beyoncé flavor, that R&B Beyoncé flavor. And I think Alligator Tears, it's sort of like an R&B country song. It like it gives a mix between R&B and country. And they can play Alligator Tears on the R&B stations and it would still fit. Because I think that's an R&B song. That's an R&B song with some country twist. But just like I said, the blending of genres that she did on this record, genius. Genius. And Alligator Tears is definitely it's definitely a favorite. I think it's an underrated gem. You guys are not even talking about that one, and you should. I wonder why you're not. Tell me about that. Just for Fun is a grower. It's a grower, but you can sort of feel the emotion in her voice. It's a very mellow vibe, but it's beautiful. And I like Willie Jones on it. I really like Willie Jones. It's my first time hearing of Willie Jones, but this has been my first time hearing of those black girls. When they started blowing up around this era. But hey, but after this I will be checking out his music. Great vocal performance. They flowed really nice together on this one, and so did her and Miley. Two Most Wanted. Beyonce and Miley Cyrus. I love them together on Two Most Wanted. I love the back and forth. I love the how their voices blend together. I would love to see a really nice visual for this. The visual for this one, I know is going to be epic. I want to see the chemistry between Beyonce and Miley Cyrus. They seem to be opposites. They seem to be, different type of artists, and they are. But, it's interesting hearing them together. They're two artists that I never would have thought would have been on a song together. But it's cute. I think that Two Most Wanted is really cute. And the next song, Levi's Jeans, I love the playful nature of Levi's Jeans and Post Malone on it. I just love how she paired with artists that she probably, you probably would have never thought would have done a song with Beyonce. But the chemistry and the blending, it worked out well. It worked out well. But Levi's is definitely getting an uptick from this song. And I will be getting me another pair of Levi's. Levi's are expensive. They're $50 and $60 a jean, but but I've always loved Levi's. I've always loved Levi's. They're very good quality. They last you a long time. And they definitely deserve the uptick that they're getting from this song. But love Levi's Jeans. Love Two Most Wanted. Just for Fun, a grower, but it's gonna get there. I'm gonna get there with that one. I love her vocals on Flamenco. I love the vocal layering. I love how she puts it all together. That one's beautiful as well. That one is beautiful as well. I think this is a favorite. I definitely go back to this one a few times. But yeah, I like it. I like Flamenco. It's sort of like the introduction to my favorite part of this album. Now, Yeah is perfect. Yeah is perfect. I love the 1960s vibe on Yeah. It has a 1960s vibe. It reminds me of Tina Turner. Tina Turner, which was one of the inspirations for Beyonce. one of her inspirations. And she had many inspirations, but Tina was one of them. And, it reminds me of, that type of, 60s type of, shaking type of music. It reminds me of that. The one thing that I thought about when I first heard this was a part on the Tina Turner biopic, where she performed "Shake Your Tail Feather," and and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go on YouTube and look this part up. But when they were doing the shaking and the audience was getting into it and everything, and Tina was just losing it, and that's what this reminds me of. But it reminds me of something that you would perform like on a TV show, and the audience would be dancing along, and everybody would just be up on their feet. This is definitely a party record, and this is going to slay on tour. This is going to slay on tour. I can't wait to see the choreography and the production and everything to this one, because honey, I am going to be shaking it like hell to this one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Excellent, excellent. But it's one of my favorite. This one is more than a country song. This is also a rock song. It's also an R&B song. It can go under all three of them, and it could be played on any station. There's soul, there's R&B, there's rock, there's country. It's like it reminds me of all of those genres. And then Yaya leads into the cover of "Oh Louisiana" by Chuck Berry. But I love how she raised up the pitch, and and the beat, when the beat drops to that one, I'm shaking my hips. It's like we go from losing it and sweating out our hair to shaking our hips. That's the one where I'm going to be dropped to the floor. I think I'm going to learn how to twerk to that one. And I'm telling you, I'm going to slay twerking. I'm going to learn to twerk. I've sort of been trying to learn, but I'm going to learn to twerk. And it'll be to that one, "Oh Louisiana." Whoever played the bass guitar on Desert Eagle, oh my God, you deserve an award. You deserve an extra Grammy for this one. Because honey, Desert Eagle is so funky. It's so funky, it's nasty. It's so funky, it's nasty. That one's nasty. And it gives vibes of Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan, "Tell Me Something Good," especially the intro to "Tell Me Something Good." Oh my God. And if you've never heard that, I doubt if anybody has never heard that. But, hey, for some of those who have never heard that, you need to go hear that, because Shaka Khan, "Tell Me Something Good," that is the shit. That is the absolute shit. That is the absolute shit. But that bass line, it's like, we're, of course, we're going to be shaking the "Oh Louisiana." But just look at the nastiness we're going to have on Desert Eagle. Like, she went from the 60s to the 70s with that one. Like, she changed decades in 2 seconds. Like, Beyoncé, how do you do that? Beyoncé, okay, girl. Then the next one, river dance, bounce on the shit dance. 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 That's my song. That's the one that reminds me of Renaissance. That's the Renaissance-esque one. You know, if she was gonna mix any Renaissance in it, she did it right there. You know, it's like and I heard that Renaissance was actually supposed to be act 2, but she felt after the pandemic, you know, people wanted to dance and be free and let loose. And it was definitely brilliant of her to just put Renaissance as act 1. And I'm glad that she did. I'm glad that she did because it came at a great time. You know, the pandemic had ended and we were ready to get outside. We were ready to do things. We were ready to dance and have fun. And it came at the best time. But Riverdance, oh my God. The vocals, the production, the beat, and, you know, the mixing of house music with country, excellent. And you see how this would have went into Renaissance during this moment. But I love what TikTok is doing with it. Some people have been river dancing to it. Some people have been tap dancing to it. You know, some people have been making dance routines to it. But this one is sort of like a double entendre. You know, it's not also about river dancing. It's also about something else. But I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna leave that for you to determine. Now, Two Hands to Heaven, the one that everybody is in a chokehold over. Two Hands to Heaven is excellent. Baby, I've been waiting my whole life for you and I. Yes. Especially the end of it. The end of Two Hands to Heaven. Let me tell you, that is the best part. And I've seen your TikToks of that Drea Kelly dance. I wonder what Beyonce's reaction is going to be when she sees us doing that. Because I'm definitely going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. And you know, Beyonce is always watching. She's watching. And those who have already made videos to that, she's watching it. She's watching it. She's probably going to incorporate that into the tour. But the vocals on Two Hands to Heaven are immaculate. A lot of people are comparing it to Virgo's Groove, which I do agree with. I do agree that it's a lot like Virgo's Groove, but I don't think it's the same. I think, you know, they do it in two different ways. But I will say I like Virgo's Groove a little bit better than this one, but I love this one too because it reminds me of the 90s R&B, and I love 90s R&B. It reminds me of Jodeci, Drew Hill, Boys to Men, you know, that type of thing. Like it sort of reminds you of I've been waiting. You know, that song from Jodeci's first album. It it reminds me of that a lot. But I love Two Hands to Heaven. It's definitely one of the best songs on here. Now the other day, Tyrant had me in a chokehold the other day. You know, Tyrant is so good. I just love how the beat drops And you can shake and get down to that one. But I love the trap that she mixes into Tyrant. You can hear the country in it, but then you can hear the hip hop. You can hear the hip hop and the funk in it. It's like she thought, well, I'm gonna do a country song, but I'm gonna put some flavor in it. I'm gonna put some flavor in it. And this is definitely the signature song that reminds you of when she said, this is not a country album, this is a Beyoncé album. And she was damn right. And by the way, I love the intro. Hangman, answer me now. You owe me a debt. You stole him from me. I hated you once. I envy you now. Just tell me how, tell me how. Yes. See, that part is an earworm. It's that part will be in your head for a long time. But that's my shit. And then after that, when the beat drops, it's over. It's over. That's the one that you blast in the car. So when you're getting in the car this summer, because the weather is warming up, the weather was spectacular today. But when you get in the car this summer, you blast that one. That's the one that you blast in the car on the way to work, on the way to the party, on the way to the club, on the road trip. That's the one you blast. That's the urban one of the record. I love how she switches up the vibes on Sweet Honey Buckin'. On Sweet Honey Buckin'. I think Honey and Buckin' are my two favorite parts of the record. I love the intro with Shabuzi, but Honey and Buckin', there's something about those parts. But it reminds me of how she put like 2 and 3 songs in one song on Renaissance, and she's doing it again here. But when that Buckin' part comes on, that reminds me of all of the majorette competitions. Like, the HBCUs and everything. She sort of snuck Coachella into Cowboy Carter here. With Buckin', 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 whoa, Buckin', 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 like a mechanical bull, Buckin', Buckin', Buckin'. That's HBCU. That's HBCU. That's Coachella. That's my house. She snuck that in here. She snuck that in here. Beyoncé, you are such a genius, man. Ugh. My girl. My girl. But I love it. I love this shit, girl. I absolutely love it. But that's all I got to say about that. I'm gonna learn a buck. I'm gonna learn a buck, and I'm gonna post it on TikTok. I'm gonna post it on TikTok, so stay tuned. And if you haven't watched my TikTok, you're missing out. You are really missing out, because I be killing that shit. I be killing it. And Beyoncé wraps it up with Amen. And what it sort of gives me an idea of, Amen is sort of like, now that you've learned what you needed to learn, or now that I've given you this information, let's sort of put the ideas to rest of what you had of country music and what you've had of Black people in country music to rest. I love how she changes big ideas to old ideas here. Now that you have all these new ideas that were put into your head, let's put these old ideas to rest. Amen. Amen. You know, she did a requiem at the beginning and the end. And then, you know, this was supposed to go into Renaissance if she would have kept it as Act Two. And I love how, you know, she says nothing really ends because it goes back to the beginning. It's the same song as American Requiem. And, you know, it's like if you have the album on repeat, then it'll just go right on back to American Requiem. And I love that. And when she said that the Renaissance is not over, she meant it. She meant it. Like, you know, what do you think she meant? It's not over. I think all three of these projects coexist together. They're all within this story. You know, the Renaissance is not over. Just because, you know, we're on Act Two, Renaissance is not over. These coexist together. These are all together. You know, I don't think of the Renaissance era as being over. We're still in the Renaissance era. We're still in the Renaissance era. Nothing really ends. But, you know, I love the blending of genres. And I knew that she was going to blend the genres because Beyoncé never does something, and then it's going to be completely out of what, you know, we're used to of her. Because the thing is, Beyoncé always puts her own flavor onto the music. That's what Beyoncé does. That's how Beyoncé is. And that's genius. That's her genius. That's her talent. That's coming through there. She is going to make it a Beyoncé project. Beyonce can do any genre, and she's going to make it a Beyonce album. Beyonce could do gospel, and it would still feel like a Beyonce album because Beyonce is going to put her style and flavor in it. And that's why she mixed so many different things in there. And, you know, it shows how music, you know, just it's all together, it's all connected. And Black people created country music. You know, it's like we created all of those things. So it's like, you know, what's the difference? It's all music, and they're all things that we have put out there. So why not blend it? Genre is a funny concept. It puts people in a box. Music is music. And B succeeds at everything that she does. Everything that she does. And I love my Queen B. I love my Queen B. Thank you, Beyoncé, for always doing you. For always raising the bar every single time. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for watching today. I am Sarah, and this is Sarah's Rhythm. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed. And make sure that you follow my social medias. They're going to be linked down below. And make sure that you click that bell so you can know when I post my next video the next time, because I don't want you to miss my next video. I want to keep the conversation going. But thank you so much for watching today. As always, you have a great day.